Next, we have to understand what is denormalizations. Normalization, we are breaking the bigger table, decomposing the bigger table into a smaller one. Now in the denormalization, what we are doing is the process of purposefully including redundant data in a relational database designed for some benefit such as better performance or easier coding. So for the sake of some benefit, some better performance, some easier accessing or coding, we introduce some field. Even we are violating some norms like 2NF or 3NF. Just for this sake we are putting. As I said, there is no hard and fast rule. If you are feeling that this column should be here, or if it is here, I'll getting a benefit from that. Okay, do that. Okay, so that is what we call it denormalization. And you can see here total price. This total price is violating the norms of 3NF, right? Because the dependency of this is here and this dependency is here, and finally this is depending on this, right? But for the performance and for the reporting system we are putting here, so we can say it is a denormalization. Typical case of denormalization: calculated columns are purposefully included in the table design. This may be done for the better performance. Okay, if you're not putting here total price set, let us say, when you want to generate a report for this table, there you have to always calculate quantity into price, and you have to keep calculating, and you have to keep displaying for every records, right? So it will be little time taking. Denomination situation 2. Here item name is purposefully introduced despite violating second normal form. In the order item table we have removed the item name, if you remember, but still again I am putting here. Why? Just for the reporting. Whenever some item number select, okay, item name will display along with that. So it will just help to increase the performance of report. Okay, but the problem is what, if you are doing this, you have to take some pen, you have to go for some cost of denomination. So one thing is the recalculation cost. If you are not introducing, whenever either quantity order or unit price changes, the total price has to recalculated and updated, right? Code to calculate and update total price needs to be called whenever either quantity order or unit price is updated, right? Another update cost. As I said, item name we are introducing in the order item table and violating the second normal form, but that's fine. The another problem is what? Update cost. If any update happens here, I mean in item table, you have to update here, right? So whenever the item name changes in the item table, it has to change in the order item table also, right? Whatever existing transaction happen, extra code has to be written to accomplish this. So some code, some triggers and all we need for this purpose. So that is all about the normalization and denormalizations. If you can look at this, another example I have for normalizing. So can you work out on this, how we can normalize till 3NF with this table? I have one book table where book number, book name, publisher code, publishing name, so all these columns are there. I want to make it here, or I want to normalize this. Normalization, another example, book table. So I have a book table. First what we have to do, we have to remove the repeating group. So if I have a book For that book, there is a number of members who want that. So this is a repeating group. We have to eliminate. So we have removed that one and separated, right? Next, and then we have to establish primary key and foreign key here. Clear? Again, the book number, book name and publisher code. So publisher name is dependent on the publisher code, and then it is indirectly, I can say, it is dependent on the book number. So it is having transitive dependency. So we have to break this publisher code, publisher name separately, right? So we are getting now another new table, book number, book name, publisher code, and here I will make a foreign key, here I will make a primary key, right? So remove publisher name into a separate table and include publisher code there. Okay, so this is in third normal form. And this table, the member table, there we have to remove the member code and member name, because member name is dependent on the member code. So I can say, and member code is dependent on the book number, so it is having transitive, no, this is a functional dependency problem, because this is just depend on this is not depend on this, right? So it is not having full functional dependency. So we'll remove this member code and member name. So we are getting another uh, two different tables here, right? Now this is my resultant table we have for with third NF for that first table, right? And this is the relationship we can say. Okay, here I have a primary key, here I have a foreign key, here I have a primary key again, here again I have a, this is, I can say, foreign key, this is also foreign key, right? This is a primary key. Okay, so this is all about the normalization, denormalizations with 3NF. Next, let us understand one concept, relational database management concept. So every RDMS work on this 12 rules of EF code. So rule 0, RDMS system should be capable of using its relational facilities to manage the database. So whatever the relational facilities we are having, that's it should use. First rule, I mean rule 0. Next, rule 1 is the information rule. All information in the database is to be represented in one and only one way. This is achieved by values in a column position within rows of tables. Next, that is rule 2, the guaranteed access rule. All data must be accessible with no ambiguity. This is achieved in the RDMS by using the primary key concept. Third, systematic treatment of null values. If any blank values, there should be null, and it is for all data type. So the DBMS must allow each field to remain null. The null can be stored in any field of any data type. Rule 4, active online catalog based on the relational model. The authorized user can access the database structure by using common language SQL. So there is some authorization stuff should be there, where only authorized users can fire the query and access the database structures, right? Rule 5, the comprehensive data sub-language rule. The system must support at least one relational language that has simple syntax and transactional management facilities. So it must have a DML operation, it must have a DCL operation, it must have a DDL operation, it must have a DTL operation, data transactions language. So it can be used in the application as well as in the RDMS system. So that language we can use with the some application, and we can directly write with the RDMS also. If we are creating a view, so the view updating rule, all views must be updatable by the system. So if I'm changing with the view, okay, the view will will take place with the base table or underlying table which we have. High level insert, update and delete. The system is able to insert, update or delete operations fully if, or it can also perform the operation on multiple rows simultaneously. Next is the physical data independence. Changes to the physical storage structure must not require a change to application based on the structure. So if any changes happen with the physical uh, data, there should not or change happen with the logical data. Next is the logical data independence. Changes to the logical level must not require a change to an application based on the structure. Okay. So if any changes happen with the tables, columns, row and so on, it will not require to change the application. Next is the integrity independence. All the integrity constant like primary key, unique key, okay, check constants, domain integrity must be specified separately from application programs and stored in the catalog. And next is the distribution independence. The distribution of portion of the database to various locations should be invisible to users of the database. Okay. If we are having distributed, it's not mean to any user. The non-subversion rule. If the system provides a low-level interface, then that interface cannot be used to subvert the system, right? For example, by passing relational security or integrity constants. So if you're making some system, you should work or you should have the same interface to work with. It's not like we are having some and just we go to the background and open the files and we get everything. So these are the 12 rules of EF code.